Hello students, let us continue chapter 6 physical and chemical changes. Let us now discuss activity 6.8. Take about a teaspoonful of vinegar in a test tube. Add a pinch of baking soda to it. You would hear a hissing sound and see bubbles of a gas coming out. Pass this gas through freshly prepared lime water as shown in figure 6.5. What happens to the lime water? For this activity, you require vinegar and some baking soda. First of all, a teaspoonful of vinegar is taken in a test tube and a pinch of baking soda is added to it. When this is done, a hissing sound is heard and gas bubbles come out of the solution. Now, these gas bubbles are nothing but bubbles of carbon dioxide gas. When this gas is passed through freshly prepared lime water, the lime water turns milky. The change in the test tube is as follows. Vinegar, acetic acid plus baking soda, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate, becomes carbon dioxide plus other substances. So when we add vinegar, और vinegar में कौन सा acid होता है? Acetic acid. With baking soda, we get कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड अदर सब्सटेंसेस, यानी कि ये जो रिएक्शन में गैस बबल्स निकलते हैं वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस के हैं. द रिएक्शन बिटवीन कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड लाइम वाटर इज एज फॉलोज. हियर कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड दैट इज CO2 प्लस लाइम वाटर दैट इज CaOH2 becomes calcium carbonate CaCO3 plus water that is H2O. So this is the chemical equation. When carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, calcium carbonate is formed which makes lime water milky. The turning of lime water into milky is a standard test of carbon dioxide. You will use it in chapter 10 to show that the air we breathe out is rich in carbon dioxide. So, when this carbon dioxide gas is passed through freshly prepared lime water, calcium carbonate is formed, and that is the reason why lime water turns milky. This is a standard test of carbon dioxide. यानी कि this test will be used to indicate the presence of carbon dioxide in the air we breathe out, that is in the air we exhale in chapter 10. So we can say that carbon dioxide turns lime water milky or white in color. Because during this chemical reaction between carbon dioxide and lime water, calcium carbonate is formed, which is a white substance insoluble in water. In activities 6.6 to 6.8, you saw that in each change, one or more new substances were formed. In activity 6.6, the ash was the new substance formed when magnesium was burned. In activity 6.7, the reaction of copper sulfate with iron produced iron sulfate and copper. Both of these are new substances. Copper was deposited on the shaving blade of iron. In activity 6.8, vinegar and baking soda together produced carbon dioxide, which turned lime water milky. Can you name the new substance formed in this reaction? In activities discussed earlier, we can observe that when two substances reacted, one or more new substances were formed. When magnesium ribbon was burned in activity 6.6, a new substance was formed called magnesium oxide. In activity 6.7, iron sulfate and copper were formed. Copper was deposited on the shaving blade. In activity 6.8, when vinegar and baking soda mixed together, gas bubbles of carbon dioxide were formed and this turned lime water milky. So here we are asked the name of the new substance formed in this reaction. Calcium carbonate was the new substance formed as a part of this chemical reaction. A change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change. A chemical change is also called a chemical reaction. So here we have the definition of chemical change. A change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change. That is, when a chemical change takes place, new substances will be formed. A chemical change can also be called a chemical reaction. Chemical changes are very important in our lives. All new substances are formed as a result of chemical changes. For example, if a metal is to be extracted from an ore, such as iron from iron ore, we need to carry out a series of chemical changes. A medicine is the end product of a chain of chemical reactions. Useful new materials such as plastic and detergents are produced by chemical reactions. Indeed, every new material is discovered by studying chemical changes. Chemical change को हम chemical reaction भी कह सकते हैं. These type of changes are very important in our life because digestion of food in the body, ripening of fruits, fermentation of grapes, etc. happens due to chemical changes. So, all the new substances that are formed in daily life is a result of chemical change. If we have to extract metal from an ore, then we have to carry out a series of chemical changes. Similarly, medicines, plastics, detergents, etc. are produced because of chemical reactions. So, we can say that every new material is discovered by studying chemical changes. We have seen that one or more new substances are produced in a chemical change. In addition to new products, the following may accompany a chemical change. Heat, light, or any radiation, ultraviolet for example, may be given off or absorbed. Sound may be produced. A change in smell may take place or a new smell may be given off. A color change may take place. A gas may be formed. So, during a chemical reaction, heat, light, or any other radiation including ultraviolet radiation may be given out or any of this may be absorbed. यानी कि heat absorb भी हो सकती है या it can be given out. During a chemical reaction, there is a chance that sound will be produced. There may be a change in smell of substance or a new smell will be produced out of the reaction. Color change may take place just like there was change in color in the lime water when carbon dioxide was passed through it. During a chemical reaction, a gas may be formed just like carbon dioxide gas was formed when vinegar was mixed with baking soda. Let us look at some examples. You saw that burning of magnesium ribbon is a chemical change. Burning of coal, wood or leaves is also a chemical change. In fact, burning of any substance is a chemical change. Burning is always accompanied by production of heat. Now we know many examples of chemical change. Some examples of chemical change include burning of magnesium ribbon, burning of wood, coal or leaves. Generally, we can say that burning of any substance is a chemical change because as we know, heat can be given off or absorbed during a chemical change. So, when a substance is burned, there is production of heat. As a result, burning of any substance is a chemical change always. Explosion of a firework is a chemical change. You know that such an explosion produces heat, light, sound and unpleasant gases that pollute the atmosphere. That is why you are advised not to play with fireworks. You all must have seen fireworks. These are also chemical changes because when a firecracker is burning or whenever there is an explosion of firework, heat, light, sound and gases are produced. These unpleasant gases pollute the atmosphere. That is why we are advised not to burn fireworks. When food gets spoiled, it produces a foul smell. Shall we call this change a chemical change? We have learned that change in smell may take place during chemical reaction. So, when food is spoiled, you can observe that there is a foul smell produced. A very unpleasant smell is produced. That is, there is a change in smell. So, This can be called a chemical change. Spoiling of food is a chemical change. You must have noticed that a slice of an apple acquires a brown color if it is not consumed immediately. If you have not seen this change in color, cut a fresh slice of apple and keep it away for some time. Repeat the same activity with a slice of potato or brinjal. The change of color in these cases is due to the formation of new substances. Are not these changes chemical changes? Now, when a freshly cut apple is kept away in open for some time, it acquires a brown color, which is not the original color of the apple. The same happens with a slice of potato. In this case, there is a change in color, which is again a chemical change. In chapter 5, you neutralized an acid with base. Is neutralization a chemical change? We studied about neutralization reaction in chapter 5. What is neutralization reaction? When an acid is mixed with a base, neutralization takes place. Neutralization is also a chemical change because two new substances are formed. What are the two substances formed when acid and base are mixed together? Those substances are salt and water. A protective shield. You must have heard of the ozone layer in our atmosphere. It protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiation which come from the sun. Ozone absorbs this radiation and breaks down to oxygen. Oxygen is different from ozone. Can we call the breaking down of ozone a chemical change? If ultraviolet radiation were not absorbed by ozone, it would reach the Earth's surface and cause harm to us and other life forms. Ozone acts as a natural shield against this radiation. Let us now discuss about a protective shield called ozone layer. Ozone layer is a part of atmosphere that protects us from harmful radiation such as ultraviolet radiation which comes from the sun. These radiations are harmful to human beings and also cause harm to other life forms. That is why ozone is called protective shield, because ozone absorbs this radiation and breaks down into oxygen. This change is a chemical change because ozone is breaking down and a new substance is formed called oxygen. The chemical name of ozone is trioxygen, that is O3. So, by absorbing the radiation, ozone acts as a natural shield against it. Rusting of iron. Let us get back to rusting. This is one change that affects iron particles and slowly destroys them. Since iron is used in making bridges, ships, cars, truck bodies and many other articles, the monetary loss due to rusting is huge. Let us now discuss rusting of iron in detail. Rusting of iron is a chemical change and it affects articles made of iron that are kept in open and slowly destroys them. Because of rusting of iron, there is loss of money, that is, there is monetary loss. Because iron is used in making bridges, ships, car, bodies of trucks and many other articles that are used in day to day life. अब रस्टिंग ऑफ आयरन की वजह से ये सारे ऑब्जेक्ट्स जो है, ये सारे आर्टिकल्स जो है, ये बिगड़ जाते हैं, ख़राब हो जाते हैं, तो उस वजह से काफ़ी नुकसान होता है. The process of rusting can be represented by the following equation. Iron Fe plus oxygen O2 from the air plus water, that is H2O, becomes rust, that is iron oxide Fe2O3. Using this equation, the process of rusting can be explained. When iron comes in contact with oxygen and water, it becomes rust, that is iron oxide. The chemical name of iron oxide is Fe2O3. For rusting, the presence of both oxygen and water or water vapor is essential. So, two essential things for rusting of iron is the presence of oxygen and water. Water can be in the form of water vapor, that is moisture, which is essential for rusting of iron. In fact, if the content of moisture in air is high, which means if it is more humid, rusting becomes faster. So, how can we prevent rusting? Prevent iron particles from coming in contact with oxygen or water or both. One simple way is to apply a coat of paint or grease. In fact, these coats should be applied regularly to prevent rusting. Another way is to deposit a layer of metal like chromium or zinc on iron. This process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron is called galvanization. The iron pipes we use in our homes to carry water are galvanized to prevent rusting. नाउ वी नो द रीज़न बिहाइंड रस्टिंग. रस्टिंग क्यों होता है? जब आयन जो है वो ऑक्सीजन और वाटर के कॉन्टैक्ट में आता है. तो सो इफ़ वी वांट टू रिड्यूस रस्टिंग, दैट इज़ इफ़ यू वांट टू प्रिवेंट रस्टिंग, we will have to prevent iron particles from coming in contact with oxygen and water. If the amount of moisture in the air is high, that is if there is more moisture in the air, rusting takes place faster. That is if a piece of iron is kept in humid air for long time, it starts rusting. Since we know that rusting takes place when iron comes in contact with water and oxygen, to prevent iron particles from rusting, we prevent them from coming in contact with oxygen or water or both. So, for preventing contact, a coat of paint or grease is applied to the iron article. In order to prevent iron particles from rusting, a coat of paint or grease should be applied regularly. This was one way of preventing rust. Another way is to deposit a layer of metal which do not rust when they come in contact with water or air. Such metals include chromium or zinc. When a layer of zinc is deposited on iron, it prevents the iron from rusting. This process is called galvanization. So, here we have the definition of galvanization. The process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron is called galvanization. Galvanized iron pipes are used in our home to carry water because they won't rust easily. You know that ships are made of iron and a part of them remains under water. On the part above water also, water drops keep clinging to the ship's outer surface. Moreover, the water of the sea contains many salts. The salt water makes the process of rust formation faster. Therefore, ships suffer a lot of damage from rusting in spite of being painted. So much so that a fraction of ship's iron has to be replaced every year. Can you imagine the monetary loss to the world? Now, ships which remain on water most of the time are made up of iron, and we know that a part of them is always underwater. It always remains underwater. And the part which is above the water also faces water droplets, and the water of sea being salty, it adds to the formation of rust on the iron. This happens even if the ships are painted from time to time. Because of rusting of iron, a part of the ship's iron has to be replaced every year when it is rusted, and this causes a lot of money loss. Stainless steel is made by mixing iron with carbon and metals like chromium, nickel and manganese. It does not rust. We all have heard of the word stainless steel. This type of steel is made by mixing iron with carbon and metals like chromium, nickel and manganese. Stainless steel does not rust. Crystallization. In class 6, you have learned that salt can be obtained by the evaporation of seawater. The salt obtained in this manner is not pure and its crystals are small. The shape of the crystals cannot be seen clearly. However, large crystals of pure substances can be formed from their solutions. This process is called crystallization. It is an example of a physical change. We know that salt is obtained from seawater. When the seawater evaporates because of the heat of the sun, what is left behind is salt. Now, the salt we buy from the shop is not how salt is obtained from the seawater. Initially, it is obtained in the form of crystals, and at this time the salt is not pure and cannot be used for cooking. Crystals of salt is small and cannot be seen clearly, but large crystals can be formed of pure substances from their solution. This process is called crystallization. Crystallization is an example of physical change. Activity 6.9. Caution. Use only dilute sulfuric acid. Be careful while boiling water. Take a cupful of water in a beaker and add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. Heat the water. When it starts boiling, add copper sulfate powder slowly while stirring continuously. Continue adding copper sulfate powder till no more powder can be dissolved. Filter the solution. Allow it to cool. Do not disturb the solution when it is cooling. Look at the solution after some time. Can you see crystals of copper sulfate? If not, wait for some more time. Before performing this activity, you have to follow a caution that you should be careful while boiling water, you should be careful while handling flame, and also the sulfuric acid used should be dilute. So for this activity, we require dilute sulfuric acid and copper sulfate powder. In a beaker, take a cupful of water and into this add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. After that, the water should be heated. When the water starts boiling, copper sulfate powder is added and the water is stirred continuously. Keep on adding copper sulfate powder till no more powder can be dissolved in it. After that, the solution should be filtered and allowed to cool. The solution should not be disturbed, and after some time we can observe that there are crystals of copper sulfate in the solution. So this was an example of crystallization. You have learned about physical and chemical changes. Try to identify changes that you observe around you as physical or chemical changes. Now that we have learned about physical and chemical changes, we can identify the changes around us as physical or chemical changes. So basically, as we have learned, there are two types of changes, physical and chemical changes. Physical changes ऐसे changes होते हैं जिसमें shape, size या state of the substance में change होता है. So physical change is a change in which there is a change in physical properties of a substance. On the other hand, what is chemical change? During a chemical change, new substances are formed. So now we have learned about them and we can distinguish between them.